Welcome everyone. This is Karen Aiken. Today I'd like to take you on a little tour of a wonderful nursery in Northern California. This might give you some ideas of what you could plant in your home. Here I am upon hundreds of acres of trees, shrubs, ground covers. This is a place I visit all the time as I'm trying to get ideas for what to use for my clients' gardens. I'll start with showing you a few plans. These are classic landscape architect's plans showing the placement of all the elements of a garden. One of the most important construction materials that a landscape architect makes use of are the plants. And you'll see in a typical plan lots of circles all around the plants, which are representing the trees and shrubs. And we try to give very thoughtful consideration to just the right plant in the right place. And plants are used sculpturally, both functionally and aesthetically. So the trees and shrubs might be used to create shade or to provide some colorful accents in the garden, or even for privacy if you're trying to protect a view from the street or between neighbors, and of course even for erosion control, and always considering what might be drought tolerant in our California climate. And all these circles are representing different varieties of plants, and I'm always looking for just the right plant for the right location. As I walk through the nursery on this January day, many of the plants have been moved indoors to shade covers or greenhouses to protect them from the frost from the winter. This greenhouse has that wonderful tropical, moist, mossy smell to it. Here I come, I'm just wandering the nursery and having so much fun seeing what's blooming in January. These are the berries of a strawberry tree, Arbutus unido. Blooms are about the size of marbles. And they're kind of messy, so if you put them off in the distance, you need a hedge or a shrub, that's great. Burford holly, yet another great shrub or tree. It's a shrub if you keep it pruned over the years. It's kind of prickly, so I always say it's great if you want to keep something underneath your daughter's window, having these prickly plants and lots of red berries in the winter here. That's a great foliage plant. Prunus Carolina, Carolina laurel, I use all the time as a great screen hedge. Now this happens to be its winter foliage color. It probably got red because there was a cold snap. Most often it's just a lush green shiny leaf, gets quite tall, up to the bright and tight, up to about 8 feet tall. And then this Photinia also gets a red tip, not because of the cold, but just as its spring flowers come out, leaves I should say. And then here I am again along olive trees. These are fruitless olive trees, espalier, meaning they've been trained to make a vertical wall. You'll see tucked in there the wood trellis that they've been attached to. That would be an ideal plant as a screen up against a fence or a wall. It would be a great accent too. It could be sculpted beautifully. Here I come upon some boxed olive trees. These are fruitless, either the Swan Hill variety or the Wilsonii variety that have maybe just a couple olives during the year, but not much. Versus a fruiting olive, this one is called a Manzanillo, is a Spanish olive, and this Manzanillo is one of about hundreds of varieties of olive varieties that are planted in Spain, either as olive oil or a fruit. And here in the garden, I'm just wandering through the nursery to find Nandina, heavenly bamboo. Isn't that beautiful? In the winter, they have this gorgeous cast of burgundies, orange, golden colors. Lots of times I hear my clients saying, I'm bored with Nandina, I don't really like it. And I say, how can you not like it? Because it can be so beautiful in a mass and so adaptable to many different conditions. It's very drought tolerant. And there are now, I read somewhere, 75 cultivars. It's so popular in Japan, they have a Heavenly Bamboo Society. This one is the burgundy with that that dwarf look to it. Could get just a couple feet high and keeps the color for a good part of the year. In looking at plants through the nursery in mass, it really gives a different perspective to what plants look like. Here with this Gulf Stream, a little bit different color foliage to it. It's also a dwarf. Now I come upon a shade house full of flax, New Zealand flax, Jack Sprat, just a dwarf little one. Here on the left with that burgundy or brownish foliage to it. And that's used in mass. It's kind of interesting, and especially in these new modern contemporary garden designs that are so popular these recent years. Just coming up upon the chartreuse color of the flax called Yellow Wave. That one gets pretty good size, up to about 4 feet tall or so. I use that one quite often. And then that reddish pink one is the Rainbow Warrior, that is also real popular. And these are very drought tolerant plants, therefore they're even more popular in our gardens. And then the heuchera or coral bells. This nursery plants hundreds of varieties of the heuchera that is most popular because of its wide variety of foliage colors. The burgundies, the greens, and the chartreuse colors. It also gets a nice little bloom, so it's a nice perennial in the garden. You can see I've been having fun walking around the nursery with my son, and I hope you enjoyed this little tour and that it might inspire you to do some planting this spring. Thanks for joining. If you're interested, please subscribe and follow us. I'll have more coming up. Thank you.